Forget Ritter and Carver. Chicago Fire Season 13 final may feature a bigger character exit. Chicago Fire fans must say goodbye to Darren Ritter and Sam Carver during the Season 13 finale, but they might also have to watch another important character leave the show. The NBC procedural drama has seen many cast exits over the course of its 13 seasons. From Leslie Shea's tragic death in Chicago Fire Season 3 to Chief Bowden's promotion to Deputy Fire Commissioner of the Chicago Fire Department in Season 12, Firehouse 51 has faced numerous difficult farewells. Now Ritter, Carver, and maybe another will be added to that list at the end of Season 13. A month ahead of the finale's premiere, reports revealed that Ritter and Carver are leaving Chicago Fire after Season 13. The news came as a shock to many, given that the episodes have not indicated that the two major characters are exiting the series. Nevertheless, Ritter and Carver will be gone by the time the credits roll on Season 13's last episode. Unfortunately, another firefighter might be joining them on their way out the door. It's not looking so good for Dermot Mulroney's Chief Dom Pascal in Chicago Fire Season 13. As many will recall, Pascal's wife, Monica, died in episode 15 after a tragic car crash, which sent him into a spiral, wanting the man responsible for said accident, Robert Franklin, to be legally held accountable for his mistake. However, no charges were ever filed against him. Flash forward to episode 21. Firehouse 51 responds to a different car crash that once again involves Robert, but this time it isn't an accident. Kelly Severide assists the OFI investigation and discovers that Robert's fuel line had been cut, meaning someone was trying to kill him. Given Pascal's association with the man, he immediately becomes a suspect. It also doesn't help when Captain Tom Van Meter finds a tool belonging to the CFD inside Robert's vehicle. Unfortunately for Pascal, he doesn't have a strong alibi the night of the accident, and Chicago Fire Season 13. Episode 21 ends with the police taking the chief into custody. Based on a flashback in Chicago Fire Season 13's penultimate episode, it's clear that Pascal is innocent. However, that doesn't mean his story will have a happy ending. In episode 21, Severide and the audience learns that Pascal left Miami due to his investigation into Hendricks, a man linked to the mob. As a result, it seems like the mob might be framing Pascal to get back at him for what happened in Miami, and nothing good can come from this new predicament. Perhaps the fallout from Robert Franklin's crash and his wife's death could convince Pascal to move cities once again to get a fresh start. Or the mob could kill Pascal in the finale. Whatever the case, Chicago Fire Season 13 could unexpectedly write out Pascal during its last episode, meaning he would join Ritter and Carver in leaving the NBC procedural drama series. Pascal's exit in the Chicago Fire Season 13 finale makes more sense when considering Christopher Herman's recent storyline. At the end of Season 12, Bowden stated that he would like Herman to replace him at Firehouse 51. When Season 13 opened, Pascal took over as the fire station's chief instead of the show's long-standing character. Herman still decided to take the steps necessary to become a chief and is set to take his final exam in episode 22. If Herman passes the test and Pascal joins Chicago Fire Season 13's confirmed Firehouse 51 exits, the current captain could officially become the chief. Based on everything that has happened in the last few episodes, Pascal leaving the show and Herman taking his place is quite plausible. Fans will still have to wait until NBC releases the Chicago Fire Season 13 finale to learn Pascal's fate, though. In what may be the most explosive Chicago Fire finale yet, the Season 13 conclusion could pivot away from the obvious and deliver a shocking goodbye that fans didn't see coming. And no, it's not Ritter or Carver. The buzz around Firehouse 51 suggests a larger storm is brewing, and one of the show's most beloved characters might be suiting up for their final alarm. Since season 12, much of the fan speculation has focused on Blake Gallows' emotional departure and how Ritter, Daniel Peary, and Sam Carver, Jake Lockett, are being positioned for potential exits. Their arcs have simmered with tension: Carver's PTSD flare-ups, Ritter's quiet struggles with leadership and grief. But something in the wind feels different this time. It's too quiet, too neat, and Chicago Fire has never been one for predictability. Rumors began swirling after subtle behind-the-scenes hints. David Eigenberg, who plays Christopher Herman, has been less visible in cast interviews. A cryptic post on social media showed him walking away from a smoldering set with the caption, "Every fire burns out eventually." While this could easily be classic misdirection, longtime fans know Chicago Fire doesn't drop symbolic breadcrumbs for nothing. So what if it's not Ritter or Carver walking away? What if it's Herman? It would be the emotional gut punch Chicago Fire is known for. Herman is the moral backbone of 51, the tavern king of Molly's, the gruff father figure who's seen it all. Losing him would ripple through every corner of the firehouse, from Bowden's office to the kitchen table. He's been through unimaginable loss, including the death of his wife Cindy, and while he's remained resilient, recent episodes have painted a portrait of a man reckoning with mortality, legacy, and the ghosts that ride with every call. The writers have expertly layered hints. Scenes where Herman stares a little too long at old photographs, the moment he handed over more responsibilities at Molly's, and that emotional monologue in episode 11 where he told Mouch, "If I went out tomorrow, I think I'd be okay. I've done what I came here to do." That didn't sound like offhand wisdom. It sounded like goodbye. And if the final title, rumored to be Last Bell, is any indication, this could be the kind of farewell that redefines the show going forward. But what would drive Herman to leave? Theories range from a fatal call gone wrong to a decision to retire after one final act of heroism. A popular fan theory involves a multi-alarm blaze that traps a group of children in an old school building. Herman, known for always charging in no matter the odds, is the last to emerge, or maybe never does. Others think it could be quieter, that he chooses to retire, maybe finally taking that trip to Ireland he's talked about for years, passing the bar's torch to Ritter or Cruz. Speaking of Cruz, Joe Minoso, his character arc has also been building toward major change. Since becoming a father and mentoring his brother Leon through community outreach, Joe's world has expanded beyond 51. If Herman exits, could Cruz step into his role as the new senior firefighter and owner of Molly's? The symbolic passing of the torch would be powerful, the future leading the firehouse into the next chapter. And then there's Chief Bowden, Eamon Walker. Though showrunners have denied rumors of his retirement for seasons now, this may be the moment when multiple exits converge. Bowden without Herman would be like the station without its bell, still standing but hollow. Could both men decide to leave together, going out with dignity and purpose, clearing the way for a new generation? That would set the stage for Carver and Ritter to stay, unexpectedly, and rise into leadership. Carver, once hot-headed and impulsive, has shown growth. In season 13, he's mentored rookies, led truck drills, and finally let down his walls. Ritter, always thoughtful and team-first, could find his calling as lieutenant, stepping out of Gallows' shadow and into his own light. Of course, all of this is speculation. The writers of Chicago Fire love nothing more than subverting expectations. But if the finale leads into legacy, loyalty, and loss, its holy trinity, then a Herman-centric exit would honor the show's roots and shake up its future in one fell swoop. The impact wouldn't stop at the firehouse either. Imagine the emotional fallout at Molly's, where everyone gathers post-shift, nursing grief with whiskey and war stories. Imagine Crows breaking down in the back room, Ritter clenching a folded uniform, Mouch trying to deliver a eulogy through tears. Even Severide, stoic and often detached, might raise a glass and whisper, "He was the best of us." And then the last scene. A slow pan across the firehouse wall, the photos of fallen firefighters, and finally a new frame added. Herman in full gear, smiling. Fade to black. Sirens in the distance. So while the spotlight may shine on Ritter and Carver as red herrings, don't be surprised if Season 13's finale takes a different turn. One that reminds us Chicago Fire isn't just about flames and rescues, but about the people who carry those hoses, wear those helmets, and leave legacies that never burn out. One thing is certain, if Christopher Herman is the one to say goodbye, he won't just be walking out of the firehouse. He'll be taking a piece of its heart with him.